Hello, everybody. I'm John Kazor. I'm with the Flower Mound Club. I've been a Rotarian since 1986. Most of the time I was with the Louisville Club. About 2 years ago, I got involved in some global grants, and suddenly I'm considered the expert. So just know that I'm a 2-year expert. I want to talk about global grant management, and I want to thank Paul because he's covered all of the heavy lifting. Everything that he has said also applies to global grants. All the qualifications, all the deadlines, everything that we've talked about already, all those questions are very relevant. Global grants is just one extra layer. Think of it this way, is with a district grant, you're applying with the district. With the global grant, you're applying with the district if you want to use some of your DDF allocation, but you're also applying with Rotary International. And the reason you want to apply with Rotary International is because you're not only getting matching funds from the district if you choose to get DDF, you're getting matching funds from Rotary International. So you really leverage your money a lot more effectively with a global grant. This presentation is going to be actually quite a bit shorter than Paul because he's covered all that heavy stuff, and I even added a little video in there for filler. But since we don't have audio, I'm going to skip that. Okay, how to take action with existing global grants. That's really a way to get started. Is instead of trying to grow your own, find somebody within the district that's got a grant going on that you can tag on to. And ask yourself, why do you want to do a global grant? I already mentioned it. One thing, Rotary International, people forget about that. We are an international charitable organization, and Rotary International has set it up so that they give you so much more incentive. You get almost 3 times your money instead of doubling your money, and they really do want to promote international peace and cooperation and those reciprocal relationships. Security and fraud protection. I always bring this up. We have that with district grants too. You want to make sure that you spend the money where you're spending it. But the level of sophistication and confidence that you have that the money that you've raised and donated to an international global grant, I feel, is so much better and so much more qualified to give you confidence that every dollar that you donated actually gets spent where you intended for it to be spent. With our clubs, we love to give to local organizations because that's important to us with our community. But especially at the club level, when there's no grant going on, we just have to have faith that it's getting spent where we're donating it. When we do a district grant, we have another layer, but we don't have a whole organization set up to audit and check and make sure that all those I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Rotary International does, and that's one of the things I love about the global grant process. Yeah, one of the grants that we got involved with Ukraine. Because there was rumors of fraud with different clubs, we actually requested an audit, and it delayed the final closeout of the project probably about 3 months. But I have every bit of confidence that every dollar spent was spent effectively, and it was done as they said it was. Okay, so how to get started? Partner with an existing global grant, or start a new grant. Here's an example of an existing grant. I'm just giving one sentence descriptions. All this is available at matchinggrants.org, the same site that Paul had discussed. Installation of 10 large-scale water filtration plants in India, in different rural villages. Keith, and I don't know how to pronounce Keith's last name, I apologize. He's probably one of the most well-versed people in global grants that we've got in this district. He's gotten involved with that and gotten lots of corporate support. If you want to get involved with that, contact him. Here's his phone number. existing global grants. Another one is a Clean Water Project in Kenya, and this is sponsored by the, you want to tell us a little bit about it, Will?
Thanks, John. My name is Will Carlton, and I'm with the Cross Timbers Rotary. I think I spoke with y'all, I think yesterday or the day before, real briefly about this project. It's a water pipeline in Kenya, and we have made a trip to Kenya last fall just to do some due diligence work. We were working with 2 Rotary clubs in Kenya, Rotary Club in Naivasha, which is about 30 or 40 minutes away from the project, and then Nakuru, which is a little further. Both are very strong clubs, and we're very confident with the governance and oversight we're going to have in managing the project on the ground. That's a really important part when you're working on a global grant, is you've got to have a really strong club in the host country. It's a requirement for you to have a good host club, and we are fortunate we've got 2 really, really strong ones. We're looking for about well, the project's $300,000, a really large project, so we actually are looking outside the district for money, but we're really hoping DGE, Angie has championed this project district-wide, so we're really hoping this will be our signature project for the district for this year. I'd say real quickly that when you are, as a PE, a lot of the clubs do not make use of their global grant allocation, and so that goes undesignated by the club. This is money that you gave 3 years ago, and you should have an opportunity to decide how you want to use that. So global grants are more difficult to do, but if you partner with a club that's already doing one, and we'll have several larger projects in the district that you could partner with. We hope that you'd pick ours, but there are several others that would be excellent opportunities to partner with. You'll learn a lot about how to work internationally with other Rotarians around the world when you are involved with one of these projects, and it's very rewarding. So and when you're budgeting, this as a I was president last year of our club. When you're budgeting, look at your DDF and make sure that you allocate some cash or encourage some of your members to give toward whatever the DDF allocation is that you have, so that you'll have money that you can then match with whatever the district's requiring. Fortunately, right now, the district's only requiring 20% of a match for the global portion for a club to be able to access that DDF and give it to a global grant project. So the cost to enter on a global grant right now is less than it would be if you had to do a 100% match. The entire grant still has to have that match, but the club itself, the club participation is much lower. So if you want, we'd love to talk with you about it. We're going to do some presentations within the district, and you'll be getting an email from us about it later.
How many people do you think your grant's going to service?
Pardon?
How many people do you
There'll be 12,000 people that will be providing clean water with this $100,000 project. Then the lifetime for the pipeline is estimated to be about 20 to 25 years. So we're looking like about $1 per person over the life of the project. Yes, ma'am.
So if your club's in charge of this and we add our money, are we just like giving you a check, or do we get credit for being participant in this project?
So technically the way it works is you are pledging your DDF and whatever cash money your club wants to do. That money will not be paid until the grant is approved, which will be most likely in October or November. At that point, you would send a check probably to either the Rotary Foundation directly or to our club. We will then forward any cash that we've contributed to the Rotary Foundation. When all that money's there, then World Fund is matched at 80%, so you get a really good leverage on the club funds it's basically a 1.8 time match. And then that's sent to the club in Kenya where they begin to start working on the project. So we don't need any money right now, but we need you to plan for writing a check at some point down the road.
How are we included?
Okay, and we also have another project real quickly. This is a one in India that is providing antenatal or kind of prenatal care to mothers. There's about 400 mothers and their children that this particular project provides health care for. It's really to help mothers that are either at risk or first-time mothers to make sure that they have a good later in their pregnancy, that they have good health monitoring and then care right before and right after the child's born. All right?
I have a question. Forgive my ignorance, but how are these areas selected, or these projects targeted? I mean,
How is what selected?
Like that too. How are these areas of the world selected?
Okay, well, so in the case of the India project, our club has had a relationship with a donor in India that we've done like 2 other projects with them, so we have a very good experience with them, and they've brought specific projects that they think are in alignment with area of focus for motherhood and child health. And in this particular example, another club wanted to do the grant, but they were unable to because they had other commitments. So our club went ahead and took the lead on the grant. Their club provided most of the funding. We put in a couple $1,000s for it, but so that one was one we were just assisting with. The Kenya one, we've had a long-term relationship with an organization there in Kenya. We've supported a children's home in that area for quite a while. Our club has, and have a good relationship. And they brought this particular project to us, the organization there in Kenya. And so we did some due diligence work and did a trip last fall just to make sure that we thought it was a viable project. So that's kind of how we've come up with these. So, Angie.
So the question she had, just to make sure, they want to make sure if they give their DDF and the global grants and the 20%, how will they be notified to keep updates and how opportunities?
So when you go to the matching grants website that you've talked about, there's a place for you to put a pledge in. So you pledge your DDF amount that you want to give. You need to look on your sheet to find out. And then there's another place to put club contributions. So there's some cash that your club would give. Or if you talk to some of your members, that could be at the members' contribution. Once we go through the process, we will notify you as soon as the grant has been approved. Actually, we'll do it before then. Once we go into the allocation process with the district, as soon as that process is done, we will notify about, okay, the district's approved the money, we're now submitting the grant, we will let you know as soon as it's done. So you'll have about a month of lead time before you probably do it.
That check is only on 20%. The district money's all money.
Yeah.
I'd like to add that if your club decides that you would like to support a project, you'll need to put in an email addressed to Scott and myself requesting that your DDF is basically stating, we are going to contribute X dollars in cash and hereby request that a DDF in the amount of whatever be allocated to this project. We need to receive that email from you.
And then y'all send the check to him.
Yeah.
He will get, we don't have to.
They'll put your amount on the application, Will puts it in. When it's approved, if you put the extra 5% in there, TRF will ask you to send it to them. If you didn't, they'll ask you to send it directly to the project.
So
Once a grant is approved and there's an actual global grant number from Rotary, not from matchinggrants.com, you are able to send a check directly to the Rotary Foundation with that grant number.
If you have 5%, they
Yeah,
don't
and-
want it if you didn't have 5%.
Right, and so most people do want to get their Paul Harris recognition, and this is a way to do that. But you can only do that once you've got a grant number. Right now, we have not gone to the Rotary Foundation and created that grant yet. We'll have one probably in June. We'll create the grant number, we'll have it. But don't send any money to anybody until you get a notification that the grant has been approved, because sometimes it takes a while to get them approved.
These are very dynamic grants. Keith's grant for India, the water project in India, is going to service 60,000 people a year. 60,000 people a year are going to get clean water. And these are people that have never had a drink of clean water in their life.
Here's another one, Rosemore Home for the Aged Water Sanitation Project. It's Conrad Heed. I'm going to make this available so you can access and get these numbers later on. Okay, your other option is to start a new global grant. It's a little more complicated of a process. I suggest the first time you want to get involved with an existing grant. Starting a new grant, there's 7 steps. I don't know. Find a project, qualify, plan, apply, fund, implement, and report. I don't know how that fund got there in the first place. So finding a project, go to matchinggrants.org and click on global grants, and you will see a list of clubs all over the world that have global grant application projects, ideas where they're looking for support. That's really the easiest way.
How long can a grant be pending or needing more funds? Because I'm on that here and I can see some are fully funded. What's the time frame on when we need to help finish it?
Usually it's about a year. Is that about right, Scott? Yeah. It varies, but about a year.
We have a requirement in the district, if you come to us for DEF, you need to get your grant approved in 6 months of our approval of the DEF grant. Otherwise, there's no limit. I mean, people work on grants a year or two before they ever see it.
Okay, so that's a great resource on getting ideas. You can contact the club, start a relationship. Another good way, I don't know why it's not going forward anymore. There. Rotary International Conventions. You go there, you go to breakouts, you meet people. That's how I found my Ukraine grant. I met someone on the bus, and we started talking, and it turned into just a very productive, great relationship. So go to Rotary Convention. Another one is going to be, I don't know why this thing isn't working. There we go. Project fairs. So I'm not going to play it. I'm going to skip it. It's just a video on project fairs. But the place to find the project fairs is just go to myrotary.org and search for project fairs, and they'll tell you what's in the area. And these places have tables set up for different people that have ideas of projects that they want to do, and meet people and do it that way. Let me back up a little bit. You've got to qualify. Everything that Paul mentioned that you have to qualify, be in good standing, all of that applies here. Additional things, it needs to be a little larger than the district grant's going to be. It's a minimum of $30,000. Now, that doesn't mean you got to come up with $30,000. It means you got to come up with about 10 because of the matching portions that you're going to get from Rotary International and from your DEF. You've got to, of course, be in good standing, and you have to have an international partner. Every global grant has an international partner that's going to be in the area where the project is we need boots on the ground to make sure that the money we're giving and what we're doing is actually done, and that's that extra area of confidence that you have with a global grant. Okay, then step 3 is to plan. There's 2 places you got to plan, and a lot of it's redundant, but you're going to plan 2 ways. You're going to be planning on matchinggrants.org, and that's what Paul went over in detail. Same process, same qualifications, but you're also going to apply to Rotary International. Okay, and that's what's going to get you a Rotary International grant number, and you'll become eligible for the Rotary Foundation's additional match. Like I said, a lot of it is redundant, so it's cut and paste. Going back, next one is, of course, apply to the districts, same way you would with the district grant. The same thing with the memorandum of understanding. going through the whole process. When you apply to RI, they've got their own qualification process. It's pretty much the same thing. You've got to be in good standing and so on. They would like you to address, you know, it's got to be sustainable is one of the requirements now. And that's kind of hard to wrap your head around a little bit, but I think Scott, we probably the most fulfilling international grant project ever been on was one with Scott, and that one ended up going away because they couldn't find a way to make it sustainable according to Rotary International standards. When they say sustainable, it means, you know, who's going to maintain the project, ensure it continues, and they're going to usually want a state-sponsored organization. They will not take an NGO's word that you know, they're going to continue this process, the project, and maintain it. If you talk about $30,000 or more, part of the application process, you've got to identify the need and describe that and ensure that there is a need of the community, and that it strengthens the community's capacity to meet its own needs. All of these, again, I'm going to go back to the district grant process. Once you fulfill all that, just these few extra requirements is all you need to do. District qualification, same things that we've already talked about. I don't think there's anything in here that would really be different. You know, attending the grant seminar, what you're doing, I'm just repeating what we've already covered. Okay, you apply for DDF. Now, I want to begin by saying with a global grant, you do not necessarily have to apply for DDF. Most of the time you do, because why not? It's a global grant, DDF allocations often end up getting unused, so it'd be almost silly not to, but sometimes just out of an interest of expediency, you've got a corporate donor, you've got a project in mind, you want to get it done quick. Sometimes people don't go through the district side and go straight with Rotary International, the application process. They have their own MOU. It's half the work. Funding, you get other clubs that contribute. Non-Rotarian cash contributions, corporate donors are awesome. They're a great source of funds. And of course, DDF. I'm just going to give you an example of, okay, a club invests $10,000. Okay, that's the total cash that they're raising. Okay, you get a DDF match and the Rotary Foundation match. That $10,000 gets turned into a $30,000 project. That's huge and effective. It's a great way to leverage your money. Implementation. You've got a project management process includes financial controls, and those rules are laid out very clearly in the process. Dedicated bank account, authorized releases, keep your receipts, and be asking for them. You'll have regular checkpoints of progress, records retention system, and this is all part of your memorandum of understanding. Verify your results, objectives met, beneficiary needs met. A lot of it's similar to district grants, but it's a little more formal process. And then the report, you've got a final report that you return into the Rotary Foundation. Unlike district grants, you don't necessarily have to close out a global grant by the end of the year because many of them take more than 1 year. But you'll have to be up to date. If you're not closed out by the end of the year, you're going to have a progress report turned in. You still have to be current on all of your global grants if you want to be eligible for another grant down the road. So, quick reference. Got financial minimums, $30,000, ways to get involved, lead sponsor, reliable contributing partners, a lead host club. We've already talked about the lead responsibilities and the MOU, the grant training process. Club's got to be in good standing, Club 990, support the Rotary Foundation, and meet, I think, the 6 prioritized goals that the district has set. Project management process, we've talked about all that. Substantial long-term commitment and relationship, and that's that's the sustainability. We talked about the goals, I just did. I think that should cover it all. Maybe that's why it's not advancing. That's the end of the presentation. Does anybody have any other question of global grants? Again, it's everything we said of the district grant, plus another layer that you're going to be applying to the Rotary Foundation.
So I'm on the website and I don't understand if I'm just looking at it wrong, but 5790 has nothing from this current year.
No, it's Rosemore. I don't know how.
We've got at least 4.
There's not, if you search for 5790, there's nothing.
Or you sort it by club, it doesn't.
There's nothing on there. And I went back like 3 or 4 years. So how do you find these?
Yeah, I'll have them update my presentation. You'll find it there, or you can contact me. I keep a running total of who, what's in process. I'm surprised that we don't have access to it on.
Well, it says 3755. I tripped across it because I was looking for Grapevine too. So I don't know how, when you look at the website, how you can find.
I've never looked for it. I'm sorry, I can't answer that question.
It's called Rosemore Home Rehabilitation in South Africa, but it doesn't have anything about Grapevine. So I don't know if it's just who the host family is, but not host family. The host club is on there. Like,
That's what my question was related to, if we partner with somebody else, then do the minor clubs all that too? So we're also part of that, we can look at the like weekend, like 2 years ago.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
So if you look at the matching grants website.
Yeah.
I'm in Grapevine, so Conrad, we have a bunch, but I just found our 3755, but when you search that website, you can't find Grapevine or 5790.
searches on that website. Go by year.
It'll bring up the.
Go by Rotary year.
But how would you know? I guess we as presidents need to send out, say, hey, this is our, to our club, we're 3755, for our people to find it. You see what I'm saying? I guess
Yeah.
it's trying to find it.
It is a little difficult, because I think on that website, they arrange it by year. You got to do search by what Rotary year.
And you can put in the G number, it should go directly to it.
Right.
So-
I think the challenge.
So as a temporary, as a minor sponsor or person who gave money, you're going to be on the application.
Right.
You're not really going to be the lead sponsor or the lead club or anything like that. You're just going to be on the application saying we gave $500 or $1,000.
This is
whatever.
based on whoever started it, not who's contributing.
Is it because it's the host club is in South Africa in our example?
You've got, in a way, 2 host clubs. You've got the international and the one here.
Okay, yeah. I guess that was.
I think I covered the ones that we've got going on within the district.
Yeah, we approved 4 global grants, DDF 4 global grants this year, plus our global scholars.
So I would
Are
suggest
they linked on the
baby steps.
website? Are they linked on the district website somewhere?
They're under the host country's district,
Okay.
that's why.
Right.
So I see
For us to be able to find it, we
Right,
be able
and
to.
that, I think that's probably where we just need the communication from you guys, of what is out there available from other clubs in the district, and then also, whoever's promoting from that club, just needs to let you know, like, here's the grant number, or it's based in 912, just like.
Now, keep in mind, I suggest baby steps and maybe find an existing project you can get involved with and contribute to. If you pick one of those projects and you decide, to give money to it, you're still going to have to take a proactive step and get involved in the project. Because this is just merely contributing money, but it's a good way to have skin in the game, a reason to track, understand the process. Once you do that, try it on your own, or not, just try it on your own. Really, if you get on the websites, you start filling out the forms, they will guide you through that whole process. It sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. Once you sit down and start filling out the application, it sort of pushes you through the whole process. So global grants, it's everything district grants is. It's another layer, and that's applying with the Rotary Foundation. But you leverage your money by that much more. Yes, sir.
Can you speak to, I don't know, this may be a question for the district governor, but the district designated funds are used locally, and then the district governor has whatever the leftover money is at her discretion this coming year. Is that same thing true of the global funds?
Actually, district designated funds is both. It's cut in half. Half of it's for the district grants, half of it's global grants only. But they're both considered district designated funds. I don't know if that answers your question.
There isn't a separate, I thought that there was, if it was a global fund, part of your district designated funds intended for global use, that it couldn't be used locally.
Correct.
And so is it up to the discretion of the district governor then, any amount of money left over in that part of the fund?
We always find a use for it. I think we all, we've got global scholarships. We always find a use for it, for anything that is unused.
Okay. Plus, if you don't use it, you lose it.
And that's why we find a use for it.
Well, we don't lose it. I mean, it doesn't fall out of my pocket, but it's being used.
Even the district would lose it if they didn't designate it for
Districts
something.
will lose it if we don't designate it for use.
Yes.
Foundation.
I'm a little intrigued by the circus trips. Can you speak a little bit on your circus trips and does any funding go towards that or how does that work?
Rotary does not pay for accommodations and travel for anyone on a service trip. Keep that in mind, which honestly I think that's a benefit because that could be an opportunity for misuse of funds. So when you do go on a service trip, that's going to be at your expense, or if you want to have a GoFundMe page or you get your club to sponsor it with funds, that's often done. But going on a service trip is the responsibility of that person going on the service trip. I find them to be actually the best way to really wrap your head around and turn the lights on what Rotary International really means. I've got, just thinking back at some of my experiences on these trips, I would replace them with nothing. It's life-changing, the revelations that you come across. I strongly recommend, if you have an opportunity, to actually go to where the project is and help, please do it. You'll become addicted once you do. But that's going to be on your own. That's not going to be part of this grant process.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I want to go back to touch back on his and clarify, see if I can kind of in my mind clarify it as well. So there are two pots of money out of your district funds. There's your local district funds, then there's the global funds.
Right.
If you don't do something with the global funds, the district's going to use it, the district governor is going to use it for a global project.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to necessarily do a global project because those funds would get used anyway.
We will find a use for it.
So, it seems like a lot of work for us to do a global project whenever it's going to get used anyway on a global project. You see where I'm going with that?
I see you. Yeah.
But you won't be able to say where it goes, though.
No. If
So if you
you've
want
got
to-
a project you have an interest in and you want to participate in some way,
Point the money to it.
that's the best first step of getting involved in global grant is first contribute. You can't just contribute and walk away. You're going to have to get involved a little bit with the people who are managing the grant within the club that's doing it. But that will give you exposure.
But the global funds can't be used for other districts'
That's correct.
projects, so it's
Yeah.
only global projects. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Could one or both of you please clarify the difference between the 100% match requirement from the club versus the 50% requirement?
It's not, yeah. Okay, everything you donated to the Rotary Foundation 3 years ago, okay, that gets invested in the fund for 3 years. And then Rotary makes that available as district designated funds. Okay, so that number that you're getting, when they do make it available as district designated funds, they'll say half of that is going to be for global, half of that is going to be for district. That's the 50%. It's nothing about matching, what you're doing for your project. That's based on what you contributed 3 years ago. They're just saying, okay, 3 years later, this is what's available to the club. 50% is going to be global, 50% is going to be district projects.
Oh, so the club doesn't have to come up with it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes, it does. If you're doing it in the district grant, you have to match that amount.
Well, that's a different idea. He's asking about the 50%. The 50% is just how Rotary allocates the funds, the DDF that's available. That's that 50%.
Well, okay, but the part that the club does have to come up with is matching dollar for dollar
Yes.
for the district's grants.
For a district grant, yes.
Global
And that-
grants is
the
not.
point someone made earlier, and Ray reminded me, you need to budget for that next year. You need to take the amount of DDF you have coming for district grants, and you need to budget to match that in your year, because you're not gonna be able to do the grant unless you're willing to put up the same amount of money as a club.
Okay, thank you.
And that match is also for the global.
No, the global, if you're doing a global grant, you gotta match the total amount of DDF, or the district, clubs in the district have to match it. If you're allocating your DDF, you have to put up 20% of that amount in cash to your club. So you need to budget for that too, if you're going to do that.
So say your club is eligible for $1,000 DDF for a global grant. Okay, your club can request to use that $1,000 for a particular project, as long as they are also contributing $200. So you can contribute $200, and then they'll also be eligible for that $1,000 to be applied to the project.
So it's a great jump off point to go back to your club and say, if you want to give to this water project, great. All we have to do is get 20% and of our global funds, and you can sell it that way, actually.
So in a way, that $200 gets multiplied by a lot more than the 1-for-1. If you want to think of it that way. It's you're donating 200, but suddenly you got DDF for 1,000.
Good.
So the point to that is, if you're looking to do a project, look at what your DDF funds are, and then add 20% to that, and that, at a minimum, that's the base of what your project amount should be if you want to use all your DDF funds.
Correct, that is correct.
And 100% for your district.
Sir?
100, you have to match the district amount 100%.
Right.
If you have $1,000 district, $1,000 global, you gotta match this 100%. If you're gonna designate this, you gotta put in 20%.
On DDF, global grant, you gotta match 100%, right?
No.
No?
District
The other way
grant,
around.
you have to match 100%.
Okay.
Global grant, if you designate it for a project, you have to put up 20% of that amount in club cash.
So designating it for a global project, if our club wanted to support Cross Timbers water project in Kenya with our global grant funds, we also need to pledge 20% of that.
In cash, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not following this. I thought to access our district.
We get DDF, okay?
DDF is both global and district.
Okay, I'm talking if I want a district match.
Yeah.
Or if I want, that 47.5 that comes back to me to district.
Half of that comes back to you.
Half of it, because half gets allocated to global. Yeah, that 47, Well, yeah, I understand. If you want to be able to use the amount eligible for this grant.
Correct. I was told we gotta pony up 20%.
For this grant? No, dollar for dollar.
100% for a district grant, 20% if you designate your global grant.
Okay,
So if you've got a wheelchair program and you want to get funds for that for a district grant, if you want to be eligible for all of the district grant money, say $2,000, you're going to have to put up $2,000. You'll get a dollar for dollar match. Okay. Now for a global grant, we're asking that you put at least 20% up in cash, not the full 100%, at least 20%. You can raise the other from other clubs.
this is if we're wanting to run a global grant.
Correct.
As a club, we can give our global
But if you want to give it, we also ask that you put up 20%.
To give away our global grant?
Yeah. Yes, we want you to have skin in the game.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, we don't want to use it, so we're going to give it away, and to give it away, I got to give another 20%.
We want you to be active in the project.
Okay. And what happens if we don't use it?
The district will designate it wherever it needs to
Is the
go.
district going to give away?
Yeah, we'll find a place for it.
No, the district gives away 100% of whatever
You
you
guess
did.
that was my point. The district grant,
Okay. So
If
we-
you don't do anything, then the.
So essentially what you're saying, and not to be too contentious on this, but what you're saying is if I want the choice to decide where my global grant money goes, I got to pay a 20% fee on that.
Yeah.
or you just let the district designate it,
Yeah, we can,
which is already going to the Kenya Water
Which
Project.
is going to the majority of what.
or
all
Scholar, Peace Scholars, there's a lot of global projects that we could possibly be giving it to.
If you designate, then your 20% means there's even more money going towards that project. And if you don't designate, then the project gets less money. Right? They get your funds that you're not using, they don't get the 20%.
What happened was we used to have not the 20% rule. So the people that were vested going out and asking people for money, they got all the DDF. The clubs, all they had to do was say, okay. Well, we thought that was too easy. So now we're asking that the club put some skin in the game, put up 20% of that amount, and then you can designate it for a global grant.
Is there a way to find out after, like, what you all did with the global grant money that no club gave, that was at your discretion to give out? Do we get to see who you gave it to?
Yes, well, we can show you that, we can tell you that. We did 4 global grants, PDF. We did 3 global scholars. We have $20,000 left that's probably gonna go to Poland.
And the reason I'm thinking that is just because maybe if we looked at that last year and we said, oh, well, that's good, they gave it to that, so then we wouldn't have to pony up 20% to give our funds away. We're happy with where they went to.
Well, that would be new grants.
Right. But I mean, still kind of give us an idea of where it is allocated to.
You can see that.
Where it went.
It's available, yes.
Yeah, that's what, where do you go to see that?
I don't think we.
You'll have to ask one of us.
Yeah, you ask one of them.
I don't think that's posted anymore.
Okay.
So maybe you just answered this, but I had a similar question. Does the district announce intentions for those funds ahead of time? And if so, how is that announced?
What do you mean?
Like if
Let me explain this. Okay, so we have a committee.
It's gonna take a minute.
I'm on the committee, he's on the committee, he's on the committee, and there's 6 or 7 other people that are on the committee. We put all these grants in a pile and say, okay, here's the pile, global grants, district grants. We're gonna allocate the money. Okay, the committee's doing this. Okay, it's not pre-advanced, so I don't tell you because we don't know until the committee votes on it. The committee may vote, we don't want to give the wheelchair project $10,000, we want to give them $5,000, that kind of stuff. So there's no pre-advanced, things that we know going in. So it's a voting process, and it's a voting process amongst a bunch of people, not just two people or one person.
The chances are they're gonna be on the grantmatching.org site.
The grants are gonna be on matchinggrants.org. All the global grants in the
Global
district.
and district grants are on.
Yeah, the global grants have a G number, like I was talking about, and the district grants have a P number. Mhm. Any other questions?
Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys have all these questions. It shows that you're interested. And any other questions, we'll make the presentation available, and you can contact myself or Scott for the global grants, and Paul for the district ones.
I do have one more for someone like you. So how do I, as an incoming president, know if I've got my 2 spots covered? Because I know my president-elect was here last year, well, his obviously is going to expire, his certification will expire. How do I find out if I have those 2 and what their expirations are?
If you have 2 what?
2 people that are going through this class that are certified to do grants.
How long is the training good for, in other words?
So how is the training good
It's
for?
good for the next year.
How do I find
So
that
someone
out?
has to come here every year.
We have a record of it. I think Tina's keeping track of that. I'm not sure how.
Scott,
You require 2 people in each club, right?
Right.
Every year.
Every year.
Frankly, if 2 people haven't been to training yet, then it's expired.
Yeah.
It's good till July 1 or June 30th. So you want to have 2 people certified going into the next year.
Which is why you go back in
And
April.
certified within that 12-month period.
His question is, how do you find out? Well, as of this point, with the Keller Club, only Daryl is certified for 26, 27. Right, because we've only done the one, and nobody else from Keller has been here.
So when you submit a grant, I'll go check the list. I'll go see who from your club is, and if there's not enough people, I'll send you an email and say you need to get somebody else trained. That's kind of how that works.
Training options, like outside of today.
So I took it last year
Online
as a president-elect, but I didn't, a president nominee, I guess. And so I signed the grant process.
Right.
You watch the recording of this online and you click a couple buttons, it's very easy. Right, getting certified is not a hard process.
No, it's
So
not
your
hard.
question was how do you get certified?
No, I was just curious, outside of today, like what are.
It'll be on the district website. It's very.
It's on the website.
This recording today will be.
There,
yeah.
or you can go to training in April.
Okay.
And then I think we'll do it again by club in August.
Okay, thank you.
So we have multiple sessions.
But you can also do it online. It's available.
And you can do it online.
There'll be many opportunities.
What's online will be these presentations, because Richard's gonna get it posted.
If you're gonna do a grant, we'll get you certified.
That's right. I'll come to your club and certify you. I'll give a presentation to your club, shorter than the one I did today. Much shorter.
Maybe that's the way you wanna go.
Yeah, right, if that's the way you
Well, I
want to
mean,
go.
it's not a bad idea to have a rotation in anyway, because then everyone's getting more information and learning more, and then they get more inspired.
Absolutely. Now, this is a very worthwhile program to have in your club. I mean, these guys are available at your disposal to have this conversation related to foundation, to grants and district grants, if you would like to have it. And this level of conversation and question being tells that you guys are all tuned in. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jim Mull. We don't know where Angie's at. So if she walks in, we'll certainly let her wrap up. I'm not sure 100% what she wants to say, but if there's any, but first I think all of us on the district want to thank each of you for participating in this weekend. We get it's a long weekend. We get it. It's a long day, long weekend, a lot of material. It's like a fire hose. All this stuff's coming at you very fast. And particularly, this is a lot of information, very technical. And for those of you who are involved in the foundation, know it takes a bit of time to get up to speed, to try to not only absorb it and understand it, but then to explain it. There's I think Scott would agree that the foundation is very deep. And we're just touching the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg right now. There's so many facets to it. But the thing to realize is the foundation is the reason Rotary exists. It's a reason why we're able to do what we do. I personally have been on a couple of global projects in Belize and Guatemala, and until you go to one of those places where you're actually in country doing work, you don't become a Rotarian until you do that. You're all Rotary members, but till you get to go do something like that and realize you're in parts of the country like Kenya where they don't have access to water. Think about that for a second. We walk up to a faucet, we just turn it on, and we expect it.
Clean water.
Clean water. In those countries, they're having to go hours. Will's project, they have to go hours to get clean water.
Chewy water.
Chewy water.
Chewy water.
So, in any event, so I want to thank you for coming. I know it's a lot, and we're at your disposal. Yes. And what's your name?
Crystal Bates.
Crystal Bates. Where are you from, Crystal?
So we are officially members of District 5810.
Okay.
We just chartered one of the newest Rotary clubs in the area, Texas Professionals Rotary Club. We're chartered with approximately 50 members.
Outstanding.
So my question is, I think that's amazing work, and I totally agree, and excited to hear about the Kenya project. But I do want to share and ask, because I've shared and brought it to the attention of our District 5810. By show of hands, how many of you all are familiar with the community Sand Branch? Okay.
So, Crystal, why don't you stand up? It sounds like you've got a little better presence, a small presence. Want to stand up so everybody sees you?
You said you wouldn't?
Go and stand up, speak loud so everybody sees you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Sand Branch is a community on the outskirts of Dallas. You can see the city limits of Dallas from Sand Branch. Sand Branch does not have access to water. And so I brought it to the attention of 5810. I definitely want to bring it to the attention of this district and just ask, are you all aware of it? And if not, I pray that you all will look it up, because I'm concerned as a Rotarian. I know it's not anything I can solve overnight by myself, but I do feel that I have a due diligence and a responsibility to make sure that our Rotarians are aware. In our own backyard, we have residents in our community that does not have access to water. And they are doing water since, I think I was informed about it back in 2020. They haven't had water in I don't think they've ever had running water there. But they had well water, but unfortunately due to politics, a desalination plant was allowed to be built there, and I hope I pronounced that right. And as a result of that, their well water was contaminated. And they found out about that because so many residents were coming to the health department and they were being diagnosed with E. coli. And so after doing further research, it was traced back to that community. So unfortunately, I'm going to say politics did not have concern for that community to do the proper assessments to make sure that their water wasn't contaminated. And so as a result of that, again, they have been doing water drives where people are dropping out water. But just imagine you getting a bottle like this that you need to cook with, bathe with, flush your toilet with, eat with, right here in the United States, and especially in our backyard. So I would hope that, I just wanted to bring it out there. At first, I really was concerned to know how many of us actually knew. When I shared it with 5810 2 or 3 years ago, the entire room gasped for air. But please look up Sand Branch. I'm also the vice chair for the Environmental Justice Committee for the state of Texas NAACP, and also I'm president of DFW Metro NAACP.
So you got nothing to do.
Right. But I shared that because with all of our entities, with Rotary, one of our causes being clean access to clean water, hygiene, and sanitation, is something that we just at least need to come together with, and at least I need to make sure to do my due diligence to inform us.
Thank you.
But I think collectively, maybe that we have some conversation with our various districts to see what we can do to address that.
Ironically, that cannot be a global project.
That's my, that was my question.
Well, hang on. Let me finish before you all start jumping on me. Unless it's from out of the country.
Correct.
Which country goes? So another country can say we need
Yes.
water? So we gotta get on Kenya.
As long as,
We'll fix their water, they fix our water?
no. You can, that's what's called a
That's-
reverse global grant. You can do it in the States. We've done it here during COVID. But you need international sponsor that's not in the US. That's the only
Okay.
requirement. Otherwise, you can do a global grant for that
Did you
project.
catch that? Kenya would have to sponsor us to do a global grant, and we can sponsor
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but it's
We
in
don't have
Washington.
to, we don't have to do anything for them.
That's a whole nother
We are.
conversation.
So we are
Probably
though.
would,
I
yeah.
think that would be a little bit more of a
Yeah.
reeling in.
We did a COVID global grant during COVID. That was the largest global grant we've ever done. It was $260,000. A club in Australia was the international sponsor. Our club in Arlington was the host club. And we had probably 30 to 40 clubs in the district that donated to that project.
All right, very good. There she is. Angie!
One last thing, Debbie asked about DDF. This is how we allocated our DDF this year. I did that back. But if you want to know, send me an email. I can share that with you and you can see exactly where the money went.
Okay, are we good?
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Please mark your calendars, April 18th. We need your treasurers, secretaries, all your people to show up and be trained in Arlington. So let's get in the game and have a great year. So thank y'all so much. Safe travels home.